Proper foam station routine is critical to ensuring high-quality finished roto-molded parts. Establishing a solid routine and proper timing of foaming tasks not only ensures these high-quality parts, but also makes the foamer's job easier. Part preparation and cooling, foam jig loading, filling the next part with foam, curing the foam in the part, and unloading the foam jigs all need to be done in specific ways and in a specific order so that the foamer won't fall behind and slow the production of parts coming from the rotational molding machines. The first step in this process is part preparation. If the foamer has been following the proper routine, he should be waiting for the roto operators to demold the next part that will be foamed. When the operators have dropped the part on the cooling jig, the foamer will take over and prep the part for foaming. While the part is still hot, all of the foam breather holes need to be drilled, spin welds installed as needed, and all the excess flashing needs to be removed. The flashing needs to be removed completely, as any flashing left protruding will cause the sidewalls to be pushed in when the part is loaded into the foaming jig, causing dents in the finished part. Any part with dents will have to be scrapped. Doing this while the part is still hot makes the flashing much easier to remove than if the part is allowed to cool. If the part requires one, a cure sample should also be taken now. Serial numbers are written on the part according to the job ticket, and the part is taken over to the foaming station. Here it will either be loaded into the foaming jig or allowed to cool further depending on the temperature of the plastic. The ideal temperature range for foaming is between 100 degrees and 125 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature range will allow the foam to rise properly, catalyze properly, and set with the proper density. The part is loaded into the foaming jig, and the clamps are latched or hand tightened, and the jig is moved into place by the foam gun. The temperature is checked once again to make sure that the part is in the ideal temperature range. While the part is cooling, the next jig for the next part coming off the rotational molding machine should be removed from the foaming jig. In doing this, the foamer puts himself one step ahead in the process, and he will now have an empty jig waiting for the part coming from the machine. All excess foam is removed from the jig, and the foam buns are knocked off the part. The part is lowered onto a light cart and taken into the darkroom to check for any foam voids. Barring any problems, the part is stacked with the rest of the finished foam parts. The part that was previously prepped and loaded should now be ready for foam. First, the foamer will verify that the shot timer is on the correct shot and correct shot time. He will then take the foam gun, turn on the main valves, and place the nozzle in the foaming hole. Aim the nozzle at the bottom outside corner and pull the trigger. When the first shot is complete, he will pulse the high air valve to blow away any excess foam from the foaming nozzle into the part and move on to the second shot. The second shot is also aimed at the bottom outside corner, and the high air is again pulsed when the shot is complete. The foam gun is immediately cleaned by turning on the water valve and pulsing the high air through the nozzle to clean out any remaining foam. All the valves are then shut off. This step is one of the most critical in the foaming process. Nozzles must be kept clean. Here we see the shot process again. When the shots are complete, the foamer will grab a spin weld gun and watch for the foam to rise. When the foam is 1 to 2 inches from the top, the hole is sealed shut and he moves to the second shot and waits for it to rise. That hole is also sealed shut with the spin weld. The foam should rise and make golf ball to tennis ball sized foam buns, and foam should be seen flowing from all of the other breather holes. Now that the part is foamed, the foamer can use the time available to set himself up for the next actions. Do paperwork, clean up and organize, and be prepared to catch the next part coming from the roto machine. The faster and more efficiently the foaming steps are performed, the more downtime will become available for breaks, lunch, and any other duties, and the easier the shift will be for everyone involved.